Hello, welcome back to my channel. Before I kick this off, just want to give a little shout out that these are arriving from Funko Europe. So they are coming if you've ordered yours, or if you're waiting on it, if you've received it yet. I'm still waiting on another one from Sonic Toys. I'd ordered from there first. Didn't realise I could get it from Funko Europe, and then ordered this one. So I would have had both of them. But now I only have this one, so I'm waiting on the other one. So if you're waiting for them, they are pretty cool. Take a little look at them. As I said, you can get this one on Funko Europe. They don't have the other one on there anymore. So whether that was a mistake, I don't know. But the other one you can get on Sonic Toys if you're in the UK. If you're in the US or anywhere else, obviously you'll be able to find them somewhere, but I don't know where. So that's pretty cool to have got that. And then next we are obviously going to be looking at the Zord Ascension project, Dino Megazord from Mighty Morphin. So this is the front of the box. There's a little sleeve on it. I will go around it and then I'll obviously unbox it, take the sleeve off. So just looking at the front, we've got like a little design on there with the Megazord underneath. Looks pretty nice. And then I have opened this to have a quick look at it. So just excuse the little open bits. And then we've got a Power Rangers Lightning Collection logo at the bottom. With a nice picture of the Megazord on the side. At top, we've got just Zord Ascension logo. And then we've got all the different dinos that it comes with. So obviously it's Dino Megazord. On the back, we've got a picture of the formations that it can make, along with the characters that we get at the bottom. And then just them split up at the side, little Lightning Collection logo there. And then on the bottom we've just got all the legal stuff and the fact that it's plastic free and all that sort of stuff. So it's a pretty nice little box. Then taking off the sleeve, obviously we can see more there. Same logos obviously, and then we've just got a plain back that's got like the little Z in there. Same as you get like on the back of the morphers and stuff like that. And then nothing too fancy on the top and the bottom that we can't see there. So I'm going to open this up and then we'll have a little look. Right, so I've opened up the box and I forgot it had all this stuff in there before I'd started doing my little time-lapse thing. So this one obviously just comes over the T-Rex, so it just slots out like that. And it's got like a nice raised little bit on it. Coins are nice and they're obviously raised into the box. And then we've got like the picture of the Red Ranger, little bits of coins and stuff on there. And then the same on the other side where we've got all their coins at the bottom. So obviously underneath, when it sits in like that, each one will have their own compartment. So obviously the yellow one at the bottom, the yellow one is in here. And as I've said, I have had a quick look at this. So I'll start with the red one. So if the packaging's all ripped and whatever, that's why, because I've already had a look. On getting this box, I thought it was quite heavy and I thought, oh, that looks quite nice. It's going to be decent quality. And obviously they tricked me in that. So these little bits here do disguise in there, so you can push them down. They honestly feel like they're going to break, so I'm not even going to put it back. So the reason I've left it like that is because it was so difficult to try and get it to do what I wanted it to do. So yeah, I've had to leave it like that, unfortunately. But it's a shame because it looks alright, and from far away, from a good distance, it does look okay. Just the feel of it is so cheap, it's so thin, there's no weight to it at all. Obviously you can see in there that half of it's hollow, so there's nothing in there. One of the arms here, that one feels like it's going to break if I move it, so I can't articulate that arm, but this arm moves fine. So there is a bit of articulation in the arm there, which is cool. Moves in and out just a little bit. The bits on the legs are supposed to come out and do something. Mine don't come out, they feel like they're going to break, and these little bits on the side keep popping off, so it's a pain in the bum. Yeah, the only good thing about the legs, you can hide these pins inside this when you want it just on its own. And then, so I'll put him as you would without putting them bits down, because as I said, I don't want to have to try and get them back out on camera, because it'll take me ages, unless I'm going to have to. But yeah, so then there's a little pin there, snaps your tail in, and then it folds out back out there, and then looking inside, so this is quite disappointing how small it is. I genuinely did think that this was going to be a little bit bigger. Maybe I didn't understand the scale of it too well, but so you can see the Red Ranger in there, but it's, you know, from there you can't even tell what it is, because obviously there's no detail in it because it's so tiny. So that's a little bit of a shame, to be honest. And his mouth moves. There's a lot of individual teeth in there, and you can see his cannons in there and whatever. And all of this stuff's painted on, so there's no stickers or anything like that. It feels like it's on there nice, and so far I can't find any paint problems with mine, so that's at least something. Okay, I did manage to get him to stand up in the end, and I did manage to unstick that arm, luckily, so that's not too bad. There he is. But as I say, these do tuck in underneath here, but I'm not going to do it because it's so hard to push in and out. And I'm sure over time they'll be fine and they'll loosen up, but yeah, I don't want to do that. Then next up we have got the Pterodactyl, which again is the same as what we've seen before. There's a couple of little, well, I say a couple, there's like one bit of difference where this articulates and does something, and I'm guessing it's maybe from where it sits on to do the tank mode or something. I don't know. I haven't got that far yet, I haven't done it. But the detail in there looks pretty nice. Yeah, and then we've got the head there with the Pink Ranger inside. You can see her a little bit better because she's by the white, but there's no mould to it. It's just a tiny little person. So there it is. A few more paint decorations in there. You can see a lot of the screws, which is unfortunate. And again, it is all plastic. So there's that one. Then we've got the Mastodon, which is quite a heavy one. It's probably the heavier piece out of all of them. And he's got some nice decoration to him. He's painted nicely. You know, they've made an effort to put some pattern in there. See all the engines and stuff in there. Both sides of the feet. So that's quite nice to see that. No articulation in the head. And no articulation in the nose. I don't believe that's supposed to wiggle like that, but it does. A couple of little cannons or something on the side there. And let's see if I can get this one open. I couldn't get it open earlier, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to. So I haven't got nails to get in there. No. Oh, there we go. There we are. And you can't even see him in there because it's so dark. Obviously it's all black with a Black Ranger inside. You really can't even see him. So yeah, as I said, this is a lot smaller than I thought it was going to be, which is a shame. And then the Triceratops isn't too bad, so he's got quite a lot of movement in him, which I'm guessing is to kind of articulate the feet a little bit more, but his head moves around. His mouth opens, which is quite cool. I think it's quite cute like that. That's nice. This looks like it should be doing something, but I don't know what. I couldn't find in the instructions what it does or anything. But this time we do have the cannon on the back of the tail. And there it is. So it looks nice like that. And then underneath there, we've got the Blue Ranger, which you can see a little bit more, probably because of the white. But again, it's blue on blue, so it's difficult to even see what's going on in there. Now we've got the Sabertooth Tiger, so this is as it comes in the box. So we've got to sort that out, pull the legs down. It's exactly what you would expect from seeing any of the others. And tail comes out like that, so you can sits up nicely, doesn't flop down, so you can kind of just put it as you want. Oh, that's cool. Ish. So if you move one, they both move, obviously. Mouth opens, and there was, oh, there we go, some articulation in the head there, which isn't too bad. And then on the body, we've got a bit of, it's obviously on a ball joint in there. It does kind of go up and down. And then that's that. We have got some articulation in the legs on that, so that's always nice. Never seen that on these before. So we can kind of make it run as you want it to, or just give a little bit more character to it. That's pretty cool. I don't mind that too much. Lastly, we've got some accessories. So we've got the sword there, which is in a nice chrome finish with some gold on there, nice black handle. That's not too bad. I like that. It feels steady. It doesn't feel like it's going to bend, but it does feel like it could snap if you was too rough with it. Not that it would be, but if you was to give it to your kid, you might have to be a little bit careful. And then a couple of cannons there just to go on its back and whatever. So that's them. We have also got some posing hands. Just to give him that little sort of fighting stance. And then we've got the little people, which may be a bit hard to see. So let me just zoom them in. And they're just an all one coloured a little person that you can barely see, to be honest. So we've got the black one, the yellow one, the red one, pink one, and obviously the blue one. They are all in decent poses, but because they're so small you can't really see. I understand that they're supposed to be sort of the size of the Zord, so that is meant to be the size that they should be sitting inside their Zords, or if they were down on the ground, that's how they're meant to be. And that's all we get in the box. We do get some instructions that just tells us how to put it all together. So I'm going to have a little quick look at that, put it together, see what it looks like in one go as the Megazord, and then I will compare it to some of the others that I've got. Right, so this is a tank mode. I've had a lot of trouble with getting this in together because the pin that holds this in, as soon as I sort of move this down, it falls out. So there's two little bits on it. So this bit goes into the chest to hold it on the tank mode, and then that obviously goes in the hand when he's holding it. But trying to get that in there is ridiculous. It just does not go in, and I feel like if I sort of push it anymore, it's going to become a problem. Unless I'm doing something wrong, I have no idea. So if you've got this and you're watching this and I'm doing something wrong, let me know. Because yeah, it's a pain. Also the back of the feet. So there's two little slits, that one there and this one here, where these two little bits are meant to go into to hold it on, and excuse the noise, it just really doesn't want to work. So unfortunately, so far I'm not finding a lot of positive about this thing. It is a very expensive item for something that does not do what it should be doing, and it definitely shouldn't be this difficult. Oh dear. Yeah, so I'm just going to give up with the tank mode and try and put it in the normal. So I figured out what these do. They do pop out just to kind of give it a bit more width. which is nice. So if you want them back in, you push them back in. Right, so here he is all put together. There's quite a few little hidden features on there that doesn't quite tell you in the instructions unless I've missed it, and it may well do. So if it does, then my apologies. But there is some bits on the Mastodon that comes off that hides the gaps, and they sit underneath for support for the feet. So they both slide in those there. Just stops it wobbling, and it does actually work, to be honest, so that's quite nice. There's a few bits it does tell you in the instructions, like if you take apart the tail, and you can attach it on the back so it still looks like the tail's attached, but it allows for more articulation and things like that, so that's quite nice. In here we've got some sort of see-through coloured plastic, so rather than just painting that in, they've added the plastic in there to just give it a bit more detail. The detail on it is good. It's not a bad item really, and as I say, the articulation on it is good, as it was supposedly, you know, that was mainly their intention on for this, to be able to, oh there you go, get it to articulate a bit better. And they've definitely done that. So there's quite a lot of swivel on the head, as well as all these other little bits like in the hands, in the arms, but then the arms are the same. And the only real bit that actually gives this the articulation, to be honest, is probably the feet. You know, if on the previous Megazords you were able to bend legs and things like that, but obviously this allows it to just do a little bit more. So it's cool that they've added features like that. But you are still limited. It's not, you know, the articulation isn't exactly amazing, but it's, you know, good enough to get it to do a nice pose. Whether this is enough to convince me to buy the Dragon Zord, I don't know. Knowing me, I probably will still buy it just to, you know, have them both. But yeah, there it is. There's bits in the instructions, or not in the instructions, that don't tell you how to do some bits. So there's you can see the rangers sitting behind the face, but I haven't been able to actually remove the front of the face to be able to do it. I will try it and see if I can get it to do it. Hang on. Okay, so I've managed to do it, and there it is. And it, to be fair, looks just like they've printed a little something in there, which is better than nothing, and it's fine. And then there's the face part that just pops off, and this pops back in. You could easily lose it, so just be a little bit careful if you're going to do that. It's nice that they've added this, but you know, that's what you're getting. All right, so there he is. I'm going to just bring in some comparisons. So there is the Hasbro's basic line, whatever you want to call it. So this came in 3 separate sets. So you get, I believe it was the T-Rex and the Sword in one, and then the Mastodon and the Pterodactyl in another, and then the two Triceratops and the Sabertooth in another pack. And they were like, I don't know, they were cheap, but yeah, so this, for size comparison, this is what you're getting. So the detail on the new one is obviously quite a bit more. These are little stickers that they've put over. The plastic looks very cheap compared to this one. And I'm not saying that this one doesn't look cheap, don't get me wrong. You know, I'll go to my final thoughts on this at the end. So anything that I'm comparing it to, please don't think that I'm bigging this up, because I'm not. You know, this is what we get. So you can just see there the difference in like the width and the length of the feet, where I'm just using the Sabertooth as a comparison there, so you can see there's quite a bit of height difference. And then obviously putting them next to each other, that's what we're getting. Okay, and lastly we have got the Bandai Legacy Megazord on this side. So obviously you can see that he's slightly bigger than the Hasbro one, but a little bit smaller than the new one, so the Zord Ascension. You can feel definitely the difference in the weight. So this Bandai one's a lot heavier, even though it's smaller. Obviously you've got lots of die casts in it. This one has none, and neither does this one. It's a shame that they made this and didn't paint it and they put stickers on it, because I feel like if they'd have painted that like they had on this, they'd have done a better job. Just looking at the paint on the face on this legacy one, you can see that they've just used better quality paint. So you can see that they've actually made efforts to, you know, make this as best as they can. I don't think that you're ever going to beat this one, in my opinion. And I'm not a legacy collector. I literally have 2 legacy items, and it's this and the Dragon Zord. But yeah, the articulation on these obviously are practically non-existent, especially compared to this, and unfortunately even compared to this. But you could just feel the build quality in this is so much better. It's so much heavier. I won't be getting rid of this. I'll definitely be keeping my legacy one. So there we go. Even like, as I said, this is quite a bit lighter than the legacy one. It's obviously heavier than this little Hasbro one. I like all of them, don't get me wrong. This is my kids one, which is why the top of the head's missing. But I do have my own one. It's just not been put together because obviously I've got this one and it's just to save space that I've put these somewhere else. So I might put them all together and display them all together and have a little Megazord shelf, who knows? I probably will, to be honest. Just keep them all together. So yeah, there they are, all comparing to each other. And finally, my final thoughts on this figure. Money-wise, it's not worth it. You know, it's around about £130 up to 150, I believe, depending on where you're going to get it. So in the UK at the moment, they're in stock on Kapow Toys, In Demand Toys, I believe they'd posted out that they'd had it, and Comics Cocktails have got it. So obviously they're all different prices. I believe Comics and Cocktails are the best out of the 3. Yeah, the build quality on it's okay. The paint on it, I was quite lucky. I've seen a few closer up yesterday online that the paint on it wasn't great. This one doesn't seem to have too many problems. There's a little bit missing. Just, if I can show you, like, how could you even do that for £130 or 120, whatever it was? This is terrible. It's not a hard fix. I won't be doing it myself, but there's no reason at all why they couldn't have done that. The little bits like this where they've got the actual coloured plastics nice in there, and it's nice to be able to hide things like you know, all the leg attachments and stuff like that, be able to hide that in there. The thought behind the figure, you can tell that they've, you know, spent a lot of time on it. For the difference in the articulation that they've given, I don't think that the time was worth it. Maybe they could have spent it doing something else, I don't know. I'm not saying that I hate this product. I'm not saying that you know, Hasbro are crap for doing this or whatever. It's nice to have a bigger sized Megazord with good articulation. You know, you'll be able to do a lot with it. I'm sure we'll see some really nice photos out there in the next couple of weeks, couple of months or whatever. But just the money for a hollow plastic figure, I feel like they just could have put a bit more into the T-Rex, left the rest plastic, and it'd have been fine. If the T-Rex had had a little bit more weight to it, I can understand that they've probably thought, well, you know, we don't want it top heavy, we don't want it falling over whilst you're posing it, we want to be able to pose it properly, so the top needs to be light. Okay, I can understand that, but there's no reason that they couldn't have just put a little bit more build into that T-Rex. You know, you move the legs and these little things will fall off on the side there, and they don't even do anything. Why are they not moulded in? You know, I can sort of see their thought behind being able to move more bits of this. Excuse me. The figure is so stiff, parts on it that need to move, that I would feel like they would snap if I've moved them, so I haven't been able to move them. You know, there is upsize to it as well. It's a nice size. The paint job's all good. I haven't had to put stickers on it. They've put clear coloured plastic in there without having to you know, make it look even cheaper and paint it like on the arms here. It does look cheap, but then you know, you kind of look at these, this bit down here doesn't look as cheap, it looks pretty good. So the articulation in it is really good. I feel like they've spent more time designing and paying people to design the boxes. The box is amazing, looks great. So if you're buying it to keep it in the box and put up on your display, then yeah, it would look brilliant. But you know, these are just my opinions. What are yours? Let me know in the comments below. Are you going to be picking this up? I would recommend wait until it goes on sale, 100%. If you can get it around, I don't know, £80, I would probably have been a bit more accepting. I did order this, and then I saw the photos and thought, definitely wasted my money here. And I've been saying to my wife the last couple of days that I wasn't too excited to be getting this. Now I've got it and I've put it together, it's fine. It you know, it looks great. But individually, particularly on the T-Rex, not very happy in that sense of how cheap it feels. You know, if you're going to buy it, you'll know straight away. You'll take out that T-Rex, but oh, that's light. Feel in the box on its, you know, with it all together in the box, it feels like a weighty box. But you know, once you start splitting it up, these don't look too bad. The feet, the Mastodon, it's nice, good weight to it. There's his shield, but obviously I've changed out his hand so he can't wear it. And I will attach these in a sec. I'll be posting some photos after, so if you want to stick around, have a look at them. I've been reviewing some helmets and the weapons, so if that's something you're interested in, check that out on my channel. You can check out my Instagram, it's lightningcollector2021 for news and updates and photos and whatever else, giveaways, all that sort of stuff. And I'm also trying out Twitter, which is at lightningc2021. So feel free to follow me on there. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. I'm sorry I'm not as enthusiastic about this. I am quite disappointed with it. So if you can tell by that in my video, I do apologise. And I wasn't too excited to get this. I am going to play around with it so I can, you know, display it nicely and see if I can enjoy it a little bit more. And just see how I get along with it. Worst case, I'll box it up and stick it in the loft. But thank you guys for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it, or at least found it informative. And good luck on making your decision as whether you're going to grab this or not.
Sequence has been initiated.